Well, sure, but firstly, I want to correct myself. It is a campaign of persecution against every individual in Spain. The Beckham Law is just a slice of the persecution, the oppression, and the violation of the rule of law. This is for everyone in Spain. This government allows the hacienda to operate outside the law. It is completely unacceptable in a democratic society. What they are doing to foreigners in discriminating against them and setting the tax authority on them to grab whatever money they can is, of course, shocking and a violation of fundamental principles of domestic and international law. What our work has demonstrated, however, is that people in Spain simply have no rights relative to this organization. And that's because of a series of laws and practices that are almost unheard of in the Western world. For instance, you have inspectors here who are underpaid, but for a bonus system that is completely corrupt because it incentivizes bad assessments, large assessments, because the bonuses are not changed if the inspector's wrong. So they are simply incentivized to take as much money off the poor victims of the hacienda as possible. In addition to that, in this country, you have to pay before you can appeal, knowing that you face 5 to 10 years of fighting in court before you could ever win, which is why the hacienda basically engages in pressuring people to do deals. The hacienda has made very few statements, but one of the statements they've made about the work we've done is to say that 70% of these disputes are settled. Well, you know, that's like how the mafia settles disputes. You put a gun to somebody's head, you can pretty well get what you want. And that's what the hacienda does, because they not only take your money, they humiliate you. They publish lists of people, even if they're still under appeal, who owe them money. They notify all your creditors. They interview family members. They go to schools to check on children. The most invasive, ridiculous practices are going on with an organization that is dedicated to essentially making politicians not have to raise taxes by aggressively taking money off citizens and foreigners. It is a barrier to trade for foreign countries. It is an outrageous violation of rule of law, of the Constitution of Spain, of the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the EU. This is a cancer on this society, and it's a slow-growing cancer that people don't recognize. People don't understand what's happening to them until it metastasizes and takes over society, until you have what you have today, which is political use of tax authorities to go after opponents of the regime in power, which is what you're having happen under Sanchez and happened under the PP. It's completely unacceptable. Actually, yes, and I want to be very clear about that. Spain is an outlier. I know the big argument is, well, there are other countries that do this or do that. No, no other country has a system as screwed up as Spain's. The gentleman who wrote this major white paper with me, he advises 30 to 40 other countries. He says that Spanish taxpayers are harder done by than Uganda. So no, this is an outrage, and there is no excuse. You know, a number of lawyers in this country have said, well, don't burn down the house. Yes, some changes are needed. No. Burn down the house. Start again. Start with a system that recognizes that taxpayers have the presumption of innocence, that taxpayers actually are citizens of a free and democratic country. No, no. I want to be fair. This happened in the past. This government's accelerating it, but this happened in the past. This is not the property of the PSOE. This is the property of the Spanish political elite. There are so many. I met a company yesterday that have been savaged for 20 years by the tax authority. They've seen their business be destroyed by the tax authority. I can't tell you how many people I've met who have been bankrupted by the tax authority. I have never seen a government agency more set out to deliver misery, more set out to destroy the entrepreneurial spirit of a country than Hacienda. I have never seen an agency in any government have a leader, as you have of the Treasury here, denounce higher education. I mean, there is something seriously wrong with what's going on in Spain today. And I'm amazed at how people don't see it. Please read the white paper, speak to your friends and neighbors, because the hundreds of people who have reached out to me are not alone. I am being besieged by letters and correspondence every day. I got a beautiful letter a few days ago from a banker who shared with me how many databases Hacienda's invading to get information, how he thinks they comb through obituaries to try to attack people who are at their most fragile. I mean, this is an organization that will do anything to extract money from their citizens and foreigners without regard to morality, let alone rule of law. Oh, they don't respond. In Spanish, there's a term. It's called bullshit. That's what I think. Complete bullshit. If they want to address my allegations, I want to see what the tax inspectors are paid. I want to know why they're defying a court order to tell the people of Spain what they pay the tax inspectors. I want to know why they're lying, why they're cheating, why they continue to hide their conduct. I want an inspection of them. I want somebody to have them answer the hundreds of pages of questions they give poor, illiterate taxpayers. I want them to explain why they take cars off poor people, why they invade people's bank accounts who have mental disabilities. They have a lot of explaining to do. Don't tell me this 0.5%. I am interviewing the victims of Hacienda every day, and I'm fed up to hear with their bullshit. They need to be made accountable. This is a democracy. It is not a state where everyone must work for the Hacienda, where the head of the Hacienda stands and says she's looking at people's social media accounts. Who is she? The Gestapo? I mean, what are you people allowing this Hacienda to get away with? I mean, these are her public statements. These threats, the continuous threats. Last week, it was about wedding presents. There is no level of your lives that Hacienda doesn't want to penetrate and squeeze for money. This is wrong on every level. And in fact, you know, in Barcelona, they're attacking tourists. And you know what? Thanks to Hacienda, your entrepreneurial class is leaving because nobody can deal with the knowledge. It's like Russia. Once you reach a certain level, the government's going to steal your assets. The similarities between Russia and Spain when it comes to the behavior of Hacienda should frighten every citizen of this country. Number one, pay your tax inspectors more money, but get rid of this ridiculous bonus system. Number two, don't make people pay 100% of the tax owed if they're disputing it. Number three, get rid of all the tax courts that the EU says are not independent and shorten the time period for appeals. Number four, have an investigation done of the Hacienda so that their practices must comply with the rule of law. Number five, the Hacienda needs to respect people's rights as individuals and taxpayers. Stop publishing the names of victims of people who allegedly don't pay when many of them are appealing. Number seven, or whatever number it is, stop harassing people in business. Work with Spanish companies to have them make money and pay off the Hacienda in time. Number eight, do not destroy businesses. set up a special facility inside Hacienda to negotiate with businesses with the goal of keeping those businesses open. Under your bankruptcy laws, it's in the interest of Hacienda to bankrupt businesses so they can take all the money quickly because they're bonus driven.